Everybody, welcome back to A Brief on Grief. Today I want to talk about expectations, unmet expectations, and surprises. So I've been thinking about this video actually for quite a few weeks. And the previous video, because I was sick and I didn't feel motivated to do this video, but I kept the idea in my head, and because it came from an experience several, at the beginning of the month. And then I had another experience that was very similar just last weekend. So it was just another reminder again of how important this concept is and how I want to create a video on it. So in the last few weeks, I've had two circumstances that were highlighted the idea of, first, how important it is to realize some of the expectations and things and ideas and dreams that we might have linked to certain things that we're looking forward to. Pictures we have in our heads of how we think things are going to be, how we think we're going to feel, all that kind of jazz. So at the beginning of the month, I was away doing my first vendor expo fair in Saskatoon. And again, so much of what I dreamed and created the table and got to do a little presentation and stuff. And there's so much of it that actually went as I had dreamed or better. But there was one specific thing that I wished I saw differently that didn't happen. And I had hoped to do more sessions with people right there at the fair so that they could feel EFT, because really the power of it is when you start to feel it and how fast that it works for you on a very real and current issue that you might be experiencing at the time. So, but I got reminded as I was there and feeling some of the disappointment coming up, again, grief, right? Because we grieve unmet expectations, we grieve dreams that we have. We have emotions of grief related to when things just don't work out, how we pictured and stuff. But I got a reminder as I could feel some of the emotions coming up in the day. I was just but I was this is so important. And yes, I can feel the emotions and I know why they're there. So it was giving space instead of judging that I was feeling that way, right? I was just okay, makes sense that I feel disappointed. It makes sense because this is how I pictured it and it's working out differently. So to give some time to those emotions, right? Even if it's just thoughts in my head, right? I spoke about it a little bit out loud with people too. So that was another way of honoring it. But then I realized, I didn't want to stay in that place of disappointment, right? I wanted to realize that there's so many other beautiful things that are happening right now, even though I'm not getting to do sessions or as many sessions as I thought I wanted to do. I had a few really beautiful ones that were powerful. And then so many other beautiful, experiences in that day, right? The conversations I had with people, how much I got to talk about EFT and my passion for it and the power and some of my journey with it, and some of the random laughs with people, and a beautiful dinner with somebody that came down from another part of the province. There were so many other pieces of it that were so beautiful. And it was really important for me to not feel the emotions that I felt, the disappointment, and then just quickly cover it up with all the beautiful things, right? That's not what I'm saying. That's the Band-Aid, right? I'm saying honoring that the emotions that you're feeling when you feel disappointed, when something doesn't work out the way you want, right? These different emotions of grief, that is warranted, that is valid. And you can spend some time honoring that, right? In your thoughts, in your words, however you do, but that you don't have to stay stuck. I don't have to stay stuck in that disappointment, because if I were to stay stuck in that disappointment, it would have closed me off and jaded me from all the beautiful things that were happening, right? And from creating maybe future beautiful things after, right? So just having faith that I could feel it all at the same time, right? That I could feel the disappointment, I could honor that, but I could still let that go and keep myself open to seeing all the other beautiful things that were going on and the things that might evolve after this experience. So that was the first experience that inspired this video theme. But just last weekend, I as you can see, I'm still in the energy of it right now, still basking in the glow of it. I was at an event that I have been looking forward to for nearly 4 years. it was something that I was going to go to in 2020 that got canceled, and then other things that were kind of similar to the event that were looking likely through COVID and then getting canceled, and just so many like things going on that didn't work out related to this event. And then it finally happened. So I was finally able to go and had this beautiful experience of my first in-person EFT retreat. So as an attendant. So to tap with a group of people that weren't online, because all of my group tapping and all of my experiences with tapping and with my mentor had all been online or over emails. So it was epic. It was phenomenal in so many ways. But as you can guess, going into that weekend, going into that event, I had a lot of dreams. I had been picturing this idea of this event for many years and the meeting of my mentor for many years, and I had so many like ideas of how it might go and what I wanted, a little bit of what I wanted to create, and the sunshine and the beach time that I wanted to enjoy, all these little things of that I realized I had in my mind and my heart of what I wanted it to be. And I got reminded of it very early when I landed in LA. And it was not sunny and in the mid-20s as my weather app had predicted and as I had packed for. It was 17, cloudy, misty, windy, and cool. And that was the first part. That was like, oh, and that really hit me. I was just like, I am bummed out. I looked at the forecast for the whole time I was there, and it looked the same. I was like, oh. So I spent some time with the feelings. And I was like, this really sucks. This is not what I pictured. I was coming for the tapping retreat, but on the days where I added kind of extra days around that so that I could be outside and explore and be in the sun and be on the beach and just have some beautiful beach sun time. So the reality of that was, yeah, it wasn't happening. And I did really feel bummed out for the first, couple hours that I was there. Then I realized I needed some new clothes. I needed a few layers. So I just went out and got like a couple layers so that I wouldn't freeze for the time I was there. But I didn't let myself stay in that disappointment, right? I was just like, okay, it's cloudy, it's cool, that's okay. Like I can remedy, I can buy another layer, I can layer up, I can still wear my summer clothes and summer dresses that I brought just with some more layers. And so I just kind of processed the feelings. I realized it wasn't the end of the world. I realized I was still here for so many beautiful things. And yeah, and that I could flow with the change, right? But again, I honored what I felt. And then I thought, but there's so many other things that this weekend or this time will be while I'm here that I'm just gonna let go of this, find some remedies with some extra layers and just let go, because I know that there's so much beauty still coming in and surprises that I wasn't even aware of. But when we get stuck in the grief and the pain that we feel, which often happens if we stuff it down or judge ourselves about it, then we miss what's all around us. We miss what is waiting to come to us from this moment and experience, and we can shut down the path for more great things to come in that maybe wouldn't have existed before. So yeah, and then that was the first experience. And then another experience in this same time frame was me surprisingly, not in a good surprise, but in a good surprise, I guess, getting really emotionally triggered the first night of this tapping retreat. And not only getting triggered, but not being able to get out of it. So spent a sleepless night after that and was really getting stuck in my head and in a lot of shame and a lot of fear, judging myself, being like, why is this happening now? Why can't I get out of it? I've waited nearly 4 years to be here. And it was just this big cycle. And so there was a lot of emotions going on there of it not being how I wanted it to be, or me responding in a way that I hadn't predicted, and the emotions that were involved in that. And that fear of wasting the whole weekend being stuck in this, right? But even though it was so painful and I didn't sleep and I was still in pain about it, for part of the next day in the retreat, I honored it. Like I just decided I'm going to speak this. I'm going to speak it to people. I'm going to be honest about it. I'm going to own it, because I know that that's the power behind it. the one way that we can honor our emotions and honor our experience the most is to actually be honest speaking to other people about it. And so I told, I didn't pretend to be all happy and joyful and other positive things and lovely things that were going on at the retreat at the time. I was telling people I felt triggered, and it was surprising me and scaring me, and I was feeling fear and shame, and I was kind of feeling paralyzed and stuck in it, and really feeling a lot of things related to it. So I voiced it, and then I voiced it, and I let people come in and support and be there for me. And I gave myself time on my own, and I gave myself the permission to kind of shift the energy in the space that I was in to see if that would help shift. And really, yes, eventually it came back, because again, I was just like, this is how it's going. This is not how I pictured. But I got to a point where I realized, do I want to hold on to this upset about that it's going differently? Do I want to hold on to this me beating myself up because of the way it is and I don't want it to be, and because of how I feel? Do I want it to be that, so I'm stuck in it the entire event? Or do I want to get to a different place? And it became obvious, more important for me to speak and honor that, and that I had given it its time. And now to look at other options for shifting and moving out of it. And as it always does, it shifted and I moved out of it. And then beautiful, beautiful things came in, and it became the event and the experience that I had dreamed of after that. And from like joyful, powerful, like energy and processes in the event, to powerful, lovely connection with new friends from all over the place outside the event, to making plans for the future, to come back again for the sun, to choosing love and connection over money, to stay actually with a girl that I met at the conference for my last night there, instead of switching to another Airbnb that I already paid for. So again, just grounding in the truth, allowing things to shift and ground in the truth, because I didn't want to miss out on all the beauty that the rest of that time was going to bring me, right? And I would have missed out if I refused and wanted to stay in the pain, or if I was in the pain and kept beating up myself for it and getting stuck in it and not allowing other people to come and support me through it, or not speaking of it, right? Silencing myself and not speaking it. All of those things would have suppressed that experience and kept me stuck in it. But I knew, even in the pain of it all, that that wasn't the answer. And then I had to let go. I had to let go for the surprises to come in. I had to let go for the beauty to come in. And hence why I'm chatting in this video with you about this. So honor the pain, honor the grief, honor the emotions that come up when things don't work out the way you want them to, but feel it and then let it go. Be like, hey, universe, this is what I did. Hey, universe, what else is here for me? I know if I let this go, there's things that are going to come in that are beautiful. There's going to be stuff that I don't even see that's going to be a part of this experience if I just let go of this pain. So, and that's what happened. Thank you and for listening, and I'll see you next episode. Okay.